now also seal it right now. We talk about 5 to 10 minutes or so. Because there's one thing, if you put this is on also most of the clear varnishes when they come from the acrylic side or lacquer side, they're kind of compatible with water, right? Acrylics are compatible with water. You can thin them down with water. You can use water thinner. So if that is still wet beneath there, all you put the paint on top of it, it's no problem. It's gonna dry, so it's gonna completely cure with the clear varnish on top.
It's going to fuse together with it.
It's gonna bond together and just dry in one run. I'm not sure how that is with enamel-based clear varnishes. I don't know if they really behave a bit funky because they do not mix with water at all. But I would suggest to use the acrylic parts, which is Tamiya and Gunzi, because they dry fast, they have got nice paints, they behave very good. Or even better, this stuff right here. So and by the way, Gunzi, so these jars here, what is Tamiya small bore jars? Gunzi, this manufacturer, as well as Tamiya, as well as those, they mix. You can mix them. You can mix them like you want, like they're same thinner.
What's the name of the product?
It's Mr. Paint. Mr. Paint. You really should try at least once. You really should try one. A black and a white, you do nothing wrong with that. Just in case you really don't like it, you just waste like, I don't know, €6 or so in total. It's not a problem. And then you can check out in a test bed at home how they behave. And if you like this effect, if you like how they work, then I would say, okay, I need this. I would always, that's what I did with those stuff as well, by the way. I saw this as a new manufacturer, and I took, they have metal paints as well, like Alclad. I took a black, a white, and a red, because it's what I can see something, and a few, one or two of those metal paints. And then I tested them at home, and I was really flabbergasted by it, because there is one thing that is from Alclad that is called, they call it smoke. It is a transparent black with a bluish touch. That is something that you can use for post shading or so. You can even use it beneath of an Alclad job, and there is a pre-shading that will shine through the Alclad. This is where this Alclad stuff had spraying properties. I was completely sold by it. I love it. But it was just, from my knowledge until that point, was just that Alclad bottle and just that single tone. And these guys picked up the same concept, even using the same bottle. This looks very similar to Alclad paints. Alclad is also automotive paint, and they bring all the colors or paints that Alclad does not have. They bring them all available, like blue, green, red, specific for World War II, Royal Air Force, for vehicles, Russian, Ukrainian, Air Forces, all that stuff. They got a very wide range, about 130 colors right now, and all with these wonderful, fantastic properties. Until now, I have never ever heard anyone complaining about it. Nobody said, all said, yeah, it's good stuff, I gotta use it, it's fantastic, which is not the case, and that tells me something, with some of the Vallejo paints, for example. These latex paints. Some people have problems with that, including me, by the way. I don't know why. Because I cannot use my thinners, for example. It's water-based thinner, and I try to make airbrush. They look nice, they spray nice, and I try to clean my brush, and it clogs and whatever, and I need to clean it, and then they dry funky, and some people are a master on it, and they love it. I'm not that guy. I love that I have got 4 manufacturers completely compatible with each other, including the thinner. That's my thing. I love that. I don't have any airbrush cleaners at home. I just have the lacquer thinner. I do everything with lacquer thinner. I thin my paint and clean my airbrush just with one single bottle. That's and they're all compatible, so I'm completely free. I love that. When it comes to some hand painted stuff, however, for whatever, faces, for figures or whatever, everything is hand painted, then I would go for Vallejo. This is latex type of stuff, and in these segments, this is really good. They just paint far better with a normal brush.
Where can I buy it?
The Mr. Paint stuff?
Yeah.
I got some in the Oshi shop.
Yeah.
They're considered being harmful, but not flammable. We ship them to the US and Australia in small boxes, for example, and like envelopes, and I always make it through. As long as DHL, our local carrier in Germany, accept it, it's all right. Never one came back. The very 3 or 4 shipments we did, I received some photos of a few bottles were broken, and then I developed a method to pack these in like ammo, protected by bubble foil, and that in a stable envelope can ship them for like 350 to 5 around the globe, euros shipping cost around the globe, as long as they are below 500 grams in total. So I'd be very interested. It's fast, 10 days or so, very good, and it makes it through. And in the envelope, it passes through the customs very fast. A box is always attracting by the customs. If this one is in standard mail, like where everything else is, in the regular mail, I've never heard any issues in customs in the country of destination. So it's very good to ship. Problems start, and this is really a pity for the manufacturer, they don't get the shit over the pond. They don't get it in large boxes. For example, if Lars would like to have it, Lars would have to go through a hell of a paperwork, you know, to get this stuff into the country and distribute it from here, which is a pity. It makes them slower. I have a good contact to this gentleman, and I love what they do. From the very first, they're helpful, they're friendly, they're open, they're dedicated and passionate, and so many Germans are not, because they just feel so good. It's just, in this country, people are still striving, I have the impression. And that's what makes them so, and they really want it, but they don't get the stuff out of the country in larger boxes. Limit it down a little bit, unfortunately. So, decal number 2. Oh, here's the aforementioned line that I can show this right here. Yeah, do you see this line right here? I can play magic and let it disappear. Do you see that? That's just a decal, which overlaps the other one a little bit, and I can use it for my benefit and leave it like that, for example. Okay. The wrong brush. Now we gently put all the stuff away. Sometimes the decal in the first stages moves a little bit. That's no problem. It's very stable. It doesn't break. You see it here live. And slowly but surely, we remove. Hey, keep going. What does it mean, helvete? Helvete? No, what is it?
Yes.
Almost. Right on. Good, we let this dry a little bit, and meanwhile we care for our little overshooter here on the left, so I correct that a bit. And just follow the panel line here. Right on. There we go. You can see it right here. So everything that is, where we are, right there. So I can do my corrections, okay? And I'm gonna do this right here, after rank right here as well, because this was not properly traced, but I told you that I don't work precise right now. But what you also can see here is that we have those, okay, I hope you can see it, yeah. The decal snugs very well with those details here, in a way that we are allowed to we just overpaint it. We just overpaint it and it's gonna look like that. With a wash on the edges, it's gonna look like that. Nobody knows there's a decal beneath. Only the trained eye knows that Ushi again messed it up by not placing a proper mask right here. So you see this metal piece here is a bit disaligned, right? It didn't place the mask well here. See that? There's a small edge. But if you work precisely, that's not going to happen. That was a shot within a few hours just prepping for the show right here. Good, good. So, now we go from here, we separate it a little bit. We go for one older wooden panel, and the other one is the newer wooden panel. We put them at the end, we put them right together. I try to, I have just applied it, but it should work. Let me fix this line down here so we can really let's do the next step. I don't want to wait here any longer and see you getting bored. So that's now an interesting cut. It's still unstable, the decal. It's freshly applied. Let me see if I can get this fixed here. Oh, it looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Towards my direction, from here, from the middle, and now towards the other direction. Because if I would start here, the entire thing would come with me. So we go to the other direction. Okay, that probably was quite good. Let's see how lucky we were. Oh yeah. Clean cut. Awesome. Good. Now we can seal it, and we speed things up as good as we can using now, in any case, a glossy varnish. A glossy varnish, because even if we have weathered wood, we want to have it flat at the end, like this one, but we need this coat with gloss right now because it's important for the washes. And for the washes, we use capillary effects, and we only want to have the paint on locations where there's a little detail, like an edge or so, or a panel line. And if that would be not glossy, then it would be a filter. You notice, right? In case I say something you already know, just say, shut the fuck up, Alex. Is anyone who want to try it out, actually? Anyone who want to test this stuff? Oh, just asking. Good. You could do it right here. So I for this one here, I mean, okay, it should be the entire fuselage, but I seal it especially on the edges, because if I put masking tape on top of it, this is where it tends to start to lift from a edge. So I make it double or triple on the edges, and I make it wet, but not too wet. If I make it too wet, there's a certain chance that this lacquer here talks with the base coat through the decal in a way that the whole thing starts to disintegrate. It's just too much paint. It destroys the decal actually because it's a chemical. But I also want to have these guys communicating between the decal with each other to make more adhesive force, right? So this is really
solid bond,
one solid bond, yeah. A little bit wet, but not too wet. It dries very fast.
You just air dry it in the end?
Say what?
You just air dry it when you're have put the first coat on?
Yes, I can do something for you guys. Let's see if we have some kind of object here. And I'm gonna
Have a tank.
yeah. We can hand it around and see if it's dry. Who cares for tanks? That's right. Here's a nice color. Can make a drying time check. So it's really wet. You can see it probably. Oh, maybe there's a glossy spot. So let's see how long it takes to dry.
So you almost can see the changes
Yes, you
when it's
can.
dry.
It's dries right now. As we speak, I can touch it right now already. Good. You can just take it. Super fast stuff. I love it. It's even faster than Kunze or Yeah, the light.
How much of this stuff do you have downstairs?
Nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing? Okay.
No,
You did some. Okay. On the webshop.
There's a the online shop. I dared to bring these few bottles here
Okay.
in luggage, but I've been in Spain and they took thinners out of my box and stuff like that. So
Okay.
you never know. And you just need to, whoops, clean the nozzle a bit. What? Edward, you screwed her tight, mate.
No, I didn't do that.
You
Did
didn't
you,
do
Michael?
that? Oh, look at this. This is a mess in here. No wonder this one. Wow.
You dirty bastard.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, what is wrong with this gun? There you go. I got the same one at home. Trusty Infinity. Nice one. If you treat her nice, she's gonna be nice to you. If you treat her like that, it's a matter of time and she, until this dirt comes into the air system there, and if this lever, if that thing is clogged, then
Yeah, it took me about like 3 hours to clean it up the last
Yeah,
time.
yeah. And they also have changed the design. They have another tightener right there
Yeah.
to avoid that. But the first version, I think this the plus version. No, this is the other one, right? Not the CR plus. The CR plus right now is a different
Yeah.
tightening system to avoid that. Because it was really uncomfortable. If you got the color here and it can happen and it clocks that thing, this entire mechanism is screwed then. Yep, but a good guy. Good.
Then you have to put it into soaking and really soak it up.
Yeah, but even that didn't work. I don't know. If
Yeah.
there's. I saw some.
Eva has
There is another one there.
like a blue stuff you can put on it, so it's not oil. It's
This
a
one?
Little, yeah, that's one. Yes.
Super lube.
Super lube.
From Iwata Super Loop.
Kan kjøpes bort i gata her.
Ja.
Det er kreativ.
Yeah, it's really good stuff. It keeps the gun clean because it does not allow the paint to directly adhere to the needle. It's more easy to clean. That is a it's a lubricant, but it's not fat, it's not grease. It's a viscosity, blah blah blah. I don't know what the name for it is.
It blends with everything you use, so it doesn't. Hmm? Ja, men han ødelegger ikke malingen. Enten det er vannbasert eller tinnebasert, så bare blender han seg inn. Så han lager ikke noe fettmerker eller noe sånt. Så den heter det.
Superloop.
Superloop. De har det på Kreativ der borte.
Er den stengt nå, dessverre?
Ja, han stengte nå 4. Men jeg kunne... Han lurte på om han skulle tatt en tur.
Hva er det slags butikk?
En guttungen hans var syk, så han måtte ta butikken.
Jeg har bilder. Fint knett. Superloop.
Han har alltid gira på den standard.
Yeah, it's always good when you have the same gun at home like on the show. That's really good. Wow, there's everything inside but paint. Man, look at this.
Det er slags utstyr.
Michael.
Wasn't me. No. Okay, good.
Jeg har noen sånne renser nå. Den er sur. Har den standard. Den tar det renser. Den er lagd i forhold til dysene, alle dysene. Så enten fra 0,15 opp til 0,8 vel, i hvert fall. Så...
What I love in this airbrush is
A little tips. It's better to take it in from the front, the needle. Before you put the cap on,
okay.
you put the needle backwards
Yeah.
in the front of the not it's more protective again to
To
on
not
the
ruin
point.
the tip. Yeah.
The tip.
Yeah.
Stilig metallboks.
Yeah. Also is very important is that you always try to remove the needle to the front, right? That's also the
Yes.
thing that I did wrong
So
with my first time.
before you turn the top off, take the needle a couple of centimeters backwards before you turn the front off.
My first, oh, that's way better now. Even more air. The first, I don't know why I did it, but I always removed the needle to the back,
Yes.
which is wrong
Why?
in my understanding, because this is so I screwed it up, did it like that, removed and pulled it back.
No.
That's what I did.
Okay. Just
That's
pull
what I
it a centimeter of
Yeah.
two, and turn the
Yeah.
front off.
I pulled it all the way down,
Ah.
and it's never good. It never went really good. She still works, but it's very sensitive now. Good. So what have we done? We have applied a clear varnish right here. All right. So we give it a pin wash. Everyone knows what a pin wash is, right? Right?
No,
Yes.
I'm the only one that doesn't know.
Depends if you build armor. Armor
Okay.
guys knows what a pin wash is, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Car man.
Yeah. You don't dirty your cars, right?
Not so much yet.
So we got thinner.
I have all the stuff, but I cannot use it.
Yeah, pin wash is actually, I think it derives from the concept that you use it very particularly on certain areas. You want to have lines and like.
When you want to accentuate something.
Yes, here this for example oops. This one is a example for a pin wash, right? So you have a thin line, just as thin as a pin tip or so. So brush. Need those fellas here. Some thinner in a little jar. You can also buy ready-made products like the various panel washes agents that are out there. I also use them, some of them, but I think I have a little bit more leeway this way because I decide the coverage and everything when I mix the stuff by my own.
What do you use for base?
For?
What did you use for the base?
For the base of what?
Oil paint.
Oil
Huh?
paint.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oil paint. And this is even cheaper than the ones Michael used before. This is just from the local do-it-yourself shop, because I think that for the applications we have here, you don't need a funky
Expensive.
oil paint. No. I mean, the artists who work with that paint paintings on large surfaces in various layers. Yeah, they maybe have a few concerns, but for this stuff here, this is.
Do you use any thinner on it or use it as basic?
Any thinner, yes. This is a thinner.
Okay.
You can. This is from various brands actually available.
Spirit, er det ikke det?
White Spirit, correct the window. That
Odorless.
White Spirit is the right word actually. Good. Let's go for the pin wash. Right there. Whoops. Nice. It runs also in the mask. Very beautiful. So I'm gonna show you this one. Let's see if we can capture this. Good. This is the line you want to have. For those who don't know, the other ones will know it anyway. You see what happened here on that mask? This is just masking tape, but this is precisely what we want to have. It just happened accidentally. I touched it here with the brush, and it pew pew went around the corner. You're gonna see it now again. Wrong pencil. Wrong brush. I'm sorry. There's the other one. Oh, this is
Jag
right.
föreslår det på den här, så det.
Do you see that? This is the capillary effect.
Magic.
Yeah, magic. Yeah, also can.
This just goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Ja, den pinot er panelvask.
Ja.
Ja.
Closer. Don't
Ja.
take ours.
Wishy-washy, yeah. The more thinner we use, the faster it's gonna dry, but the lower the cover it's gonna be. Yeah, here you can see it very nicely. It goes bow like this. You can emphasize these areas also. That is a pin wash. All excess will be wiped away. Sounds like a threat actually, but it's good. All excess will be wiped away. Right on. This one here. Good. Hair dryer. In our little luxury equipment, we also have a hair dryer. This is probably one of the best prepared spots for a demo I've ever seen. Really. With
Give me that thumb again with it, please.
Was really good.
Oh, this
With paints and an airbrush, with needles I've seen there. I got this super loop here. I got this everything. It's fantastic. Sometimes you arrive somewhere and there's nothing. You even have to ask for a compressor. Sometimes. I touched something and I messed it really up. I don't know where this dirt is coming from there. That should fit. It was just real quick. I'm not sure if the results right now we can do with the finger. The results right now are that striking, but we will see. Because I work really in a hassle here. But it tells the story.
Sometimes I feel like when you're doing like that and you're not that careful with the pin wash and you just smear the excess a little bit over the other panels,
Yeah.
it'll give that little bit more grimy texture.
Yeah, it's not so
Like-
yeah. But when it comes to stuff like this, where it's really not doesn't need pristine finishes, then you can really, even if you have a disturbed or destroyed decal or paint chips off, you can just use that. Just another little damage. One. Yep. Now we see how it has changed here. We got our panel lines right there. We have it. This is where also interesting. This is the pronunciation through the mask we did at the beginning with those little transparent masking things I showed you. Look at how this shines through here. Brilliant. Now we just need to paint the brightest section in silver, and we got a little hatch right there. So, and now we're gonna go from now the waist split.
The pinot you use, is it dark brown or black?
That was to wear what?
Umber, you can use whatever you.
Okay.
The color you use for like pin washes, you can use whatever you want.
Yeah, I think it should fit the. I use black right here because the wash gonna be black, and this gonna be a thing that is found in the barn. This is what I imagine. So then we have this rain stains, for example, or whatever kind of stains that is, and it most likely very blackish actually. For a brand new and pristine aircraft with panel lines that should match the entire appearance of the fuselage, I would go for a brown, black, just dark brown actually, right?
Okay.
Emphasize it like that. And there are Night Fighter, for example, the Night Witches, this stuff that people use there for a reason. They got a black aircraft, completely black, and they use a white panel wash, right? Just to emphasize
Okay.
that. Always matching the subject. Yep. Flat. Super clear. Whoops, where is the matte? Ah, there it is, genau. Super clear matte, also very good. Many of the flat varnishes, or matte varnishes, it's very hard to get something that's glossy, really wet, like really flat, like a flat paint again. But this stuff is really, it's very good.
On the decal, you can see when you go really, really close, you can see the rastering. The raster, you know, the raster.
When you go really close, yes.
Yeah.
But
how many microns is that?
how many what?
Microns.
Microns?
The raster lines, you know.
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't measure that. But I can give you, it is true, when you really go with a magnifier, and I've seen that, if you, there's really like a magnifier and it looks actually quite, how should I say, it doesn't look very good.
It's rastering.
It is
It's just
rastering,
like
yeah.
it's like when you
But if
have.
I give it to you in your hands right now, and I'm gonna put this piece around, there's not much to see of that. This is which is completely irritating. You don't see it when it's in the hand, but you see that?
Yeah. Here it's almost gone, but when you look at the
Yeah. Yes, yes.
the original decal, you
Yeah.
can see the raster.
Yeah. Yeah, you can hand this around this thing. It's good.
But the decals that you have for the wood, is that 1:48 scale, or can you use it like on 1:32 scale?
Yes. I call it uniscale.
Uniscale?
Yes,
Okay.
with one exception. Actually, this type of product here, for example, where is that? The one that I just had. Okay, let's take this one here, for example. You can use
You
this.
took that one.
Yeah, yeah, that's the one. No, I thought I had another package right here. You can use it in the 48 and the 32nd scale with no problem. You can even use it in the 72nd scales on a few occasions, but always it depends a little bit. I have used on a 72nd scale Messerschmitt 163 wooden wings. I have used the same product like on the 32nd scale fuselage. It always looks cool. It depends on the, so I do actually say it's uniscale between 72nd and 32nd. There's one thing that I have discovered through. As this Horton came out, I saw it in America. One of the early birds purchased the kit, and I took one of my decals and hold it right next to it and was like, hey, this grain is too small. It's a 32nd scale bird, but it has huge surfaces, right? There's huge panels, and it just didn't look right. So for this Horton, for the 32nd scale Horton, I have developed another product. This is this one. This is enlarged. This is enlarged, adjusted, and also in contrast. And so it has also additional texture. There's also in this product there are more sheets inside, because if you have these huge wings plus the fuselage in part, you need to have a lot of material. And there will be, as soon as the HK models is coming up with a decal with a 32nd scale Mosquito, right?
We'll do the same there.
It's called the Wooden Wonder, and it sounds like a Japarushi. Right there.
Have you bring some decals for sale?
Lars has them.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
So what I do here, from gloss, these are the last glossy things you see here. I'm gonna flat this down right now. With this already done a bit. So I'm gonna flat this down regularly.
But since it's quite transparent, can you use other colors underneath instead of just white or gray? Can you use
For the base coat?
Yes.
Oh, for the well, what we do right here is using white to have a very bright aircraft. I'd like to say something for that. It is very difficult in general to bright something up that is too dark. So imagine if we have a too dark paint job right here, if the base coat is too dark, then, and we would love to have our wood a bit brighter. How should we brighten it up once we have the decal here? We cannot brighten it up anymore. If we brush white on top of it, then you're just going to cover the decal. That's it. But what we can do is, if we start very bright, like this one here, and in both ways, in the weathered wood as we have there, and in the brand new wood, we can easily dark things down. We always can dark something down that is bright. We have the transparent paints from Tamiya, for example, this smoke as they call it. We can use a glaze of oil paint, which we're going to do right now here, and all that stuff. So I recommend personally always to start a little bit on the bright side. It also looks sometimes a little bit better, instead of having an issue in terms of temperature that we cannot fix anymore when it is too dark. That is as a basic concept. As to answer your question precisely, you can also you can actually determine or plan the final appearance with your base coat already. What I also have here is a paint. That's what I use when it comes to brand new finishes from brand new aircrafts, and I use that one here. This is Gunz's trusty radome. They call it radome. This is actually designed for Cold War, well, radomes obviously, and it's creamy paint. This stuff plus a little bit of white is a very, very good base coat paint for brand new pristine woods for a active service aircraft, for example.
And can you use that Gunze to mix with Tamiya or white? Or
This stuff,
yeah.
as said, and this is what I really like, and this is how my bench looks like. I expect those paints all to work with each other.
Exactly. So that's basically what that's your
Yes.
how you work. You
Gunze-
only use colors that you can blend
Correct.
and mix together.
Yes.
Okay.
Gunze and Tamiya, for example, this brand and this brand, they are 100% compatible. Gunze has this type of thinner. This is a lacquer thinner, and Gunze has an alcoholic type of thinner. They all got the same thing. There's a little bit of a difference sometimes in terms of pigmentation. I have the impression that the pigments of Gunze are a little bit finer. That can be to my benefit, and it can be something I don't like. It depends on the subject. So both brands got awesome colors. They work like a charm, and I use them. You can thin them with alcohol, with water, and with thinner. Hey, how cool is that? Oh, with lacquer thinner. How cool is that? And we can combine it with the automotive paints. This is just, I'm totally free. I'm totally free. No, but don't need nothing else. For airbrush, killer. Again, when it comes to something like blending, what we're going to do right now.
The radom color, do you use that on the cars you have made? The radom, the color, as in you have built some cars.
Cars? Yes.
With grants.
Yes.
Is that the color you use?
You mean on the woody that I did one time ago?
Yeah.
Yes, it is the same. Also, that stuff.
Okay.
Is that stuff? That is.
Because on cars it's more like a yellow wood and mahogany in the panels, and you have the surroundings. It's more like yellow wood.
Yellow wood. Oh.
I guess if you like put a red base coat and that decal on top of it, it'll have a more reddish shine like a redwood.
First of all, that. But what I would do in this particular case, I know what you mean for the woody, for example. He has mahogany on brighter sections and so on. I would again work from the bright side. Start at the bright side. Do the mahogany part with this type of oil paint right here. Put it a glaze. Give it a glaze, and the yellowish part should be covered with a clear yellow from Tamiya. Then you get your yellowish touch, if you wish. Careful. Or maybe clear orange is an option as well.
Okay.
That's what I do you know the Ushi website a little bit?
Yes.
And do you notice woody which is there? There's
Yes,
a woody with a black roof and yellowish.
Yeah.
This one.
If 41 cherry.
It's AMT for
48.
Well, I don't know what.
I know the car. Yes, I have them.
You also see on the doors two different ways of the wood, and this is precisely that. One has a thick layer of oil paint, the other one very thin, and it's just a little bit accentuated with that aforementioned transparent colors or paints such as orange and yellow.
Okay.
For example, yeah. But again, start at the bright side because it's easy to dark things down.
Did you use white or did you use?
I used something like brightened up flesh on that one.
Okay.
It's a paint from Tamiya. It's called Flash.
And for Flash S
Flash, yeah.
is
But
pink color.
yeah. Pink is a bit plus white, but I came later to the idea that it might be better
Okay.
to use radome and even white. Good. Now we are completely flat here with our thing, and now we take the one to the left and one to the right. What we're gonna do right here is separating it right now. This is going to be interesting. And then we are now about 75% through with our little demonstration. So what we do now here is really, now comes the separation, and then we are done. Right on. Oops. The good thing on oil paints is that they really work very nice and very unique. The bad thing is it takes ages until they dry. Isn't it?
Yes.
That's the reason why we will not be able, here on the show, to put our final little layer of clear paint or clear varnish on top of that. But nevertheless, it will look nice. By the way, I don't have it here because it takes an hour until they dry, until you can seal them. So I knew that this is not enough. I have developed a little product that is called Blitz Dry. It was not my idea to call it Blitz Dry, by the way. It was the Wings community. They thought, is it fast? Okay, Europe, Germany. Right, okay, Blitzkrieg. Back there. There I was. And so this is a name that has been decided by the users. And that is a drying time accelerator for oil paints. Usually the oil paints, how long does it take until the glaze of oil paints is dry? How long does it take usually? What would you say? How long does it take?
A week, yes.
Yep, right on. 5 to 7 days. That's how I see it. Great, and that was just too long. There are mediums on the market, such as they call it rapid medium from dry or from Schminke or Japan dryer or that type of stuff. How fast is that stuff? What does it bring us?
3 to 4 days.
Correct, Mundo. Right on. That's very common. It's still too long for me. So we have investigated the stuff which is in there. What are the active substances? Isolated them and put them in a jar. And now we are at 1 hour.
1 hour.
Yes, sir. It's called. Let's try. That's what it is.
That's fantastic.
It lasts forever. Very long. It comes in a.
Won't crack.
It won't crack. No. After this hour, you can. It's not 100% that dry after this hour, but you can seal it with clear. After this hour, once you have the clear, it's stabilized, and you can put your decals on top of it. The rest of the curing process, which is another 24 hours or so, that is beneath of the clear varnish. You can really use oil paints, also in rather thick amounts, like for a glaze, pretty fast. So what I have here, Michael was so nice and still has a bit of paint here. Just need some more, 10 minutes maybe 5 to 10. How are we time-wise, by the way? We overshoot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just a little bit.